Okay. Hi guys, I'm Kevin. Kevin Brown. Pretty sure you guys know that already. I'm a super senior. I've been at this school for a long time. So yeah, but I'm running for historian for next semester and next year, I guess. And the first thing most people think about when it comes to historian is the guy that takes photos. And that's partly true, but as the photo guy, it's my responsibility, obviously, to take pictures of everyone, GBMs, events, and any other things that FOSS is involved in. And just a little bit about my background as a photographer. I've been taking pictures for 5+ years. Me and my mentor work together all the time, and he has his own studio, so I have access to my own equipment, this and that, and yeah, I have a lot of resources that I can access, and therefore, as a result, FOSSA also has a lot of resources they can access, and yeah, but to me personally, a historian goes beyond just photos and media. I think anyone can really, not anyone, but it doesn't really take that much skill to just snap a photo here and there, and say, look, this is what we did. Like, anyone can really do that. For me, I think that a historian's job is also to document, which is a little bit different. I like to call, instead of historian, I like to call it like a photo secretary. I don't know, that was something that kept popping in my mind. But anyway, yeah, photography is of course about lighting and composition, but it's also about capturing moments. One of the things I like to do personally in my work is that I like to capture moments and something that where you see it and say, oh, I can see what she's feeling, or I see what he's feeling, or I can tell that they're happy, this and that. And that's something that I think that's the other side of photography, is that people forget that it's not just, look, this is what we did. It's like, look, this is what we feel as a family, like as together, hanging out. This is like the emotions that we have. So I think one thing as a historian is to capture moments and memories so that when we look back at the photos, we can say, oh, I remember, this and this with so-and-so, and, when me and him, laughed until, I don't know, our stomachs hurt or something like that. So I think that my work, my skills as a photographer, that can also transfer over into also documenting for FOSSA. And yeah. And another thing is that historians, I kind of feel like historians are like that other guy. Like there's, president works with vice president, works with secretary, works with treasurer, and then it's just like historian is like, go take pictures and be quiet, that type of thing, So maybe not that mean, but it's like they're also. I feel like they're kind of in a subtle position. But one thing that I kind of want to do is I want to work together more with. We have a webmaster, we have a graphic designer. Photography is also part of art, and I think webmaster and graphic designer are artists. So I think that's one thing I want to do to work together with them. For the website and anything else that we might want to come up with. But and also want to work with the secretary because they also document things, and I also want to go a little bit further than just writing down notes, who was at meetings, attendance, stuff like that. You can do so much more, I think, when you work as a team and you combine skills. One thing I wanted to do was maybe have take photos of the members, e-board group photos, stuff like that. At Pistahan, we had, the rose ceremony, and then it was kind of come together for pictures, and it was kind of like whoever wanted to take pictures. But I think we should have, our historian take pictures of just, the people who got roses to document that and say, these people were here for their last Pistahan, and kind of document that throughout the years to see, kind of who left, and then also see who came in, And also, I think one thing that kind of came up a lot in the past speeches was the Atakuya pairings. And I think a good way to maybe make that a little bit better would be to kind of photograph the pairings together, because I'm clearly not Filipino, so I don't really know much about, that kind of relationship. But I feel like if you want to make it what it kind of sounds like to me is FOSS is a family, but this is kind of more of an intimate connection, I guess, So I feel like maybe revealing the pairings, with a picture, saying, oh, here we have so-and-so and so-and-so, that may be a little bit more interesting than just, here's a Google Doc, find your name, and that's who you're paired up with. It kind of takes away the whole point of it if it's just, kind of a Google Doc, So maybe that's something that can make it a little bit more intimate. And personally, one of my goals was I really wanted to do like maybe a semester or year-end like scrapbook of all the events that, we've done together. I kind of let us look back on, all the things that we've done, and it gives us something like concrete that we can hold instead of just scrolling on Facebook and trying to find pictures, because we all know that when a picture gets like a month old, you never see it again, unless for some reason someone commented like 5 years later. But, like other than that, it gets pretty much lost forever. Having it in your hand is totally different. And then, maybe 10 years later when if there's that historian is also still doing it, they can look back 10 years ago and say, oh, this was the faucet at that time, or, and they can see how it's grown, what's happened in between. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also the scrapbook, also, photos aren't just for us. It's not just for us to look at. Other people also see them. So, like, it's a good way to kind of get people to come into FASA so they see, like, oh, so this is what this org is like. So I don't think it should just be, group photos when we go bowling or pictures of Spam and Egg at Spam and Egg Night. It should be maybe other things that we can send out to, like, outwards so that other people can look at it and say, this is what this org does, and maybe I want to be a part of that. So maybe it can help, like, bring people into FASA, because FASA kind of is, like, notorious for being cliquey. So if you want to kind of, like, get rid of the bad habit, you kind of have to express that, look, no, we're, like, actually open to more people. I think that's one way you could do it. Personally, I'm running for e-board because a lot of people don't know this, but FASA was the first org that I joined when I was a freshman, which was 2011. So Jess Ortega was actually the first friend I ever made here at UMBC. So me and Jess were, like, pretty tight, and yeah, she brought me to FASA, and, like, I obviously didn't know anyone. I had no idea about Filipino culture at all. Like, I probably couldn't even point to it on a map or anything like that, but, I mean, I'm just being honest, but, yeah, I didn't really know anyone, and I kind of made, like, a small group of friends in FASA, but of course they were all older than me. A lot of them graduated, and the first 2 years I was here, that was, like, the main org I was in. That also, of course, was Breakdancing Club, but that was the main org that I really, like, went to regular meetings for, and I ended up taking a break off school to work for a semester, and then I came back, but I commuted, so I couldn't really go to events that often. So really, last year was my first year back, and that's when I met all of you guys, and I was like, wow, everyone I knew left. I have no idea who these people are. So I think one thing about eBoard that I can gain is that, I can kind of get to know you guys a little bit better, because I know your names, but I don't think I know much about you guys, and I don't think you guys know much about me. And I think that's one thing that I can, like, gain from joining eBoard. So, yeah. And if you don't know, I'm also running for a VSA historian, and it's mainly because this is my, like, last year, and I really want to be involved in a lot of the orgs that I go to regularly. So between VSA and FASA, those are the two orgs that I really only go to meetings for. I'm part of, obviously, I'm the president of the Breakdance Club. I've been to CSA a couple of times, but I don't really go to the meetings as often. So I think that for FASA and VSA, I really wanted to kind of give back and do something for those orgs, because those are, like, where all my friends are at. So, yeah, so I've been interning with them for the past 2 months, month and a half. So I kind of have a good knowledge of how they run their meetings, how their e-board works. I think that's something, we always ask, why is VSA so popular? Why is VSA so this, and that? And I think that's something I might be able to answer as time goes on. Even if I don't win at VSA or win here or whatever, but that's a little bit of knowledge that I do have, and I think that's something I can bring to FASA, And the goal isn't to be VSA, but maybe we can find a key to their success. No pun intended. Yeah, and yeah, that's it.
DJ Khaled's slogan, "Voice of Success."
Bless
I,
us.
I appreciate that. But I think more importantly, how I really like your ideas, especially the scrapbook, like a yearbook, or like between FASA. How likely would you be able to finish that within the year, considering that it would be your last year also? So like I guess how likely would it be that you'd actually like follow through on that?
I think pretty likely. If you don't know, I'm a linguistics major, and it's not a stressful major at all. You know, or we don't really have a finals week. Our classes are mostly lectures with papers at the end. I mean, that's kind of the typical format. So I'm only taking like 2 classes next semester, and then I'll pretty much be done until the semester after. And I think I'm taking like one other class that semester. So I'm not going to be super busy, and like I said, I have a lot of resources when it comes to that type of thing, binding, stuff like that. Like I said, my mentor, he's been doing photography for like 30 years, and he makes scrapbooks all the time. That's where I got the idea from. So I think it's definitely super likely that I can do it. It's just the only thing that I was worried about was the size of it. If you don't want a scrapbook with like 2 pages. It's like pointless. So it's like I want to have enough photos and enough things to put in it in order to make a scrapbook. I think that's the only problem that I have with it. But I mean, if I have the materials, I could definitely do it for sure. Yes.
If you were elected as historian for both VSA and FASA, would you choose to do both, or would you choose one over the other?
I'll definitely choose to do both. Like I said, I'm not going to be super busy my last year here, so I definitely have a lot of time, and I think that's a good way to use that time. And as of now, I go to both VSA and FASA meetings all the time. They don't really overlap, as far as I'm concerned. But if they do, I can always delegate, my job to someone and say, hey, I can't make it this time. Can you, snap photos of this, and this at this event, stuff like that. And I'll definitely switch off. It won't be one over the other. So if that is the case, I think I'll be able to manage that pretty well.
I think that as much as I appreciate that optimism, I think it would also be very likely that in the future, VSA and FASA may also have overlapping events. So in the case of that, what would you do?
Like I said, I would just have to delegate also another thing, VSA has 2 historian positions, so it's a co-historian. So if anything, I can always be like, I can't make it, so can you, just cover me, whatever. And the fact that I'm the only historian, or there's only one historian position for FASA, I definitely have to step up more, because it's not always someone I could delegate my jobs to. So that's one thing that'll help with that. But yeah, like I said, I would just have to delegate that if that situation ever arises.